Yes. It's a good evening to everyone, and this is Live Show with McAden. I am your host. I remain your humble host because we are back and better. This is the Corporate Life Show with Aiden, and today is the fourth day of the new month of May 2024, and we have resumed back to the Corporate Life Show where we bring in professionals to discuss different topics that concerns you as it may affect you. And all these do for your developmental process and growth, either in the place of business or in the place of career pursuit. And I remain your host. My name is Adegu. Tonight is going to be a very special conversation with my guest in the studio. Flashing out questions around mental health issues as we have in our various corner over there. But tonight, let me tell you something. You will not stop. You really have to share the invite link with your friends. Tell them, join us in this because we are discussing how to thrive in the workplace through burnout preventive strategies. And I guess she talk with our audience on LinkedIn and other platforms. And tonight she will be with me on the show. Let me hear from you what you have to say about that. What are you looking out for on the conversation today? What are you looking out for? What are your expectations? What do you want to know about my guest tonight? And please, there is no keeping to yourself because I am sure one way or the other, this conversation tonight will affect someone out there. This conversation might affect someone you know out there. And if you think it's not meant for you, please just get someone who wants to be with you as we go on and on with tonight's conversation. And remember, my guest is someone who is so passionate about what we are discussing tonight, and because of our passion and please help me welcome to the studio Mrs. Toyin Tope-Adedipe. Thank you very much, ma, for staying tuned and staying by sparing us your time. I know even though you have to be somewhere else, you decided to be here tonight on the show with us. Thank you very much, ma. Can't wait to hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invite. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm glad to be here.
All right. My guest is already here with us, and I'm sure you are also there listening to us, and you are prepared for us for tonight's conversation. Please don't don't be stingy with the information we'll be sharing tonight. Don't try to keep the information to yourself because this is an health matter that impede on your productivity at your workplace. Even if you're a businessman or a businesswoman, this will impede on your productivity. And in the long run, who doesn't want growth? Who doesn't want growth? So that's one of the reasons why we're discussing this topic tonight. And the topic is how to thrive in the workplace through burnout preventive strategies. Thank you very much. Man, quickly, let me ask. Um, let's start with a place of definition. Let's come from the place of definition. The That's why we're going to go with the first question. And could you explain what burnout is and how it can show up in the workplace?
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and you're all welcome to this episode. Burnout is like a compounding stress.
Mm.
You have been talking about being stressed. Oh, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed. But it is not just feeling tired. You know how it is? You say you are tired. But burnout is not just feeling tired, feeling exhausted. It is a physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion.
Mm.
It's like a totality. It's not just I have a headache. It is I'm totally not there. I'm not there. You understand what I'm saying? And we can break it down into emotional exhaustion, cynicism cynicism. You are just not feeling okay. You really can't place what the issue is, but you are not at 100%. You
Mm.
feel constantly down. You are not interested in anything happening around you. You don't even want to socialize, even with family. You just want to be on your own. Even when you're on your own, you are still not feeling at 100%. That is
Mm. All right, thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much, Ma. But there is this is more like a two in one question. There is a part where we want to know what burnout is. Then the
in the
second part
workplace.
is how does it show up in the workplace? How does it show up? Because we're talking to professionals now.
Yes. When you feel burnt out, it increases your absenteeism because you don't want to go to work. You don't want to relate with people. You withdraw. I've in a way mentioned it only because I didn't say in the workplace. These are the signs. You feel you are feeling constantly tired. You lack energy. You don't
Mm-hmm.
want, negativity increases. You complain every time. Even uh, at work, you don't want to talk to your colleagues. You always feel like things are just on you. Like, oh no, the work is too much. Oh, this, oh, that. You are just here and there, up and down. You're even to learn, you are not interested.
Mm.
When meetings
Interesting.
are called, you don't even want to talk at meetings. You just feel people are, I'm being disturbed. Like, why are you disturbing me? You make a lot of errors. You have difficulty meeting deadlines. And above it all, you just feel overwhelmed and you procrastinate a lot. Thank you.
All right. Interesting shares over there. Interesting shares over there. But then, we would like audience to actually add to the conversation we are having tonight. We don't want to make it a one-way traffic conversation. Please, if you're listening to us live right now, do make your comment, share your opinion, your thoughts regarding the conversation we're having tonight. Remember, this is Corporate Live Show with McAden, and with me in the studio tonight is Mrs. Toyin Tope-Adedipe, a mental health professional, and she has been doing this a lot, talking about issues with mental health. And tonight she's discussing this particular topic: how to thrive in the workplace through burnout preventive strategies. And that is what we're starting off with question number one. And question number two, we'll be moving very straight because we want to make sure that we utilize every minute and seconds passing by judiciously. So, question number two to you, madam. What are some common causes of burnout in a work environment? What are the causes? What are the things that spring up and lead to burnout in the life or in among colleagues in the workplace?
Like excessive workload. You feel constantly overloaded. The task that you are given seem to be too much for you. Then long working hours.
Mm,
Long working hours. If you take our environment as an example, you know, the 9 to 5 is never 9 to 5.
mm.
Like if you are a banker, work truly starts at 7. If you are in operations, that's in the banking hall, you work in
Wow,
the branch. Work really
wow,
starts at 7 because you are expected to be at in the office from 7 a.m. By 7:30, you are supposed to be ready to receive customers. Not that you're not opening the doors at 7:30, but you are to be fully set and ready to receive customers by 7:30. So saying 9 to 5, most times I just smile that this 9 to 5 really doesn't work in our environment. You have to be at work. Some people get to work as early as 4 a.m. because it depends on the distance where they live, where they reside. So aside from heavy workload, we have long working hours. You start at 9, at that 7, and you don't leave the office till 7. Some people 8, some 9, even some 10 before they leave the work environment and then face traffic before they get home. And the lack of work-life balance is another cause of burnout in the work environment, you know. And then when your boss micromanages you, it causes stress, which and the prolonged micromanagement and your own reaction to it leads to burnout. And when you have unclear expectations, some you are given a job schedule, but this, your supervisor or your manager does not restrict your task to the job schedule. So it just gives expected of you.
Hello, man. Can you hear me? Hello, madam. Madam Toyin, can you hear me, please? I'm not so sure what's going on. I don't know if it's from my hand. Okay, I think we lost Madam Toyin. Uh, just let's wait briefly for her to return back to us. And the conversation is getting interesting. And as okay, madam, I'm back. I
Hello?
think I missed you for some seconds. I'm back. Um,
Okay.
sorry.
So do I go, do I repeat?
Yeah, I think I lost you at the point where you said uh, micromanagement by supervisors at the place of work or staff.
Yeah,
So I
toxic.
think that's the last part I heard.
Okay. Toxic colleagues, like toxic bosses or toxic
Mm-hmm.
peer, your work colleagues are toxic. And I also mentioned poor leadership, poor
Mm.
leadership, ineffective or unsupportive leadership also leads to burnout because, the culture, they say, flow from top down. So if there is a disconnect at the top, it flows down the same way, and this can lead to toxicity in the workplace.
Wow,
Then
interesting. Hmm.
lack of collaboration. You are just left on your own. Even if you say it's a team, you realize everybody goes at different times to speak to the team lead, and there's no synergy. And then limited growth opportunities just totally sucks your energy, because you are working, but if you don't know who you need to know within the organization, you will not your name will not be mentioned where there's opportunity.
Hmm. That's interesting. Interesting. Just what you just said. I actually had a case scenario to what you just said, and it's someone close to me, and she shared this with me as a way of getting an advice. And what really happened is, maybe I should just bring up this in a way of a question that is not part of the question we're supposed to ask today. One of the causes you mentioned is overwork, or let's say too much workload.
Overwhelm. Oh,
Too
okay,
much
okay.
workload on an individual in a place of work, where work are not evenly distributed to personnel that
Distributed.
are in the workplace. You can
Yeah.
That can lead to overwork, right? Now, this
Yes.
person saw this coming out in her place of work, and she reached out to the boss, and then the boss suspended her because it felt like she didn't follow through the protocol, probably jumping the process of communication,
Yes.
going to HR, and then
Yes.
she went straight to the boss. So should that have been an issue, or should that have been a case to have ignored the importance of the issue being communicated? So what do you have
I
to
would
say in
also
that?
like, yeah, you can go ahead.
So I'm asking, what would you say in that regard? Because in this scenario, she got punished for being, for jumping the process, the communication flow in the organization, and so something of that nature. What would you have done, or what should have been done right? Is it wrong to have made such complaint in a work environment? That's what I'm trying to say.
In a work environment, there is a process. So don't let us bring in sentiment. There is a process. And usually when I am in this type of kind of discussion, I say, what is the laid down procedure? What does the organization culture support?
Hmm.
If you have if you have been experiencing this kind of issues, have you been I think we should, in the course of this can still come up. Document when you are being overburdened. Even if you go to your direct supervisor to make a complaint, have it duly documented so that it will not be your word against his own.
Hmm.
Have a journal or a file where you state all this. On so and so dates, I made a report to my supervisor. So even if the supervisor does not listen or does not check what you have said is wrong, let the supervisor on your on your second or third discussion, let the supervisor know that you are going to go a step ahead of him or her. That may check his own response to you, or if he's deep in his toxicity, he will dare you.
All
Your
right, thank
boss
you very
is
much.
there. Your boss is there as somebody you should be able to talk to. So discuss appropriately and document before you go a step higher.
Okay. I think I get the point. But audience, please, let's hear from you what you have to say about what we are discussing right now. Remember, this is Corporate Live Show with McAden, and with me in the studio is Mrs. Toyin Tope-Adedipe. We are giving out coffee. Free coffee will be coming to your desk. Just keep
That's that.
listening
Let's
to
share
us,
coffee.
and she's popularly what?
Let's share coffee. Let's share coffee.
Let's share the coffee. Let's share coffee. So coffee is coming to your table, so don't sleep off for me. Thank you very much. I think I can see a few people joining us already. And if you're joining us in the conversation, let's connect. Okay, that's what I can see from Faboy Bolaji, who is connected. He said, let's connect and send me a request. We'll accept immediately. So thank you very much for the interest in connecting with us. But this is a show for corporate individuals who are in business, who are in career pursuit. So please join us in the conversation. It's going to be an interesting one. And as we pass around the coffee, remember, this is Corporate Live Show. So let's move on to the questions. Cool. We're looking at question 3 for Mrs. Toyin. Ms. Toyin, please, as a professional or as professionals, how can we identify and address the signs of burnout before it becomes an overwhelming in a toxic work environment?
How do you spot the signs?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start from the individual. Like I said earlier, is emotional and physical exhaustion. So start from spotting the signs in your body, because our body speaks. So listen to your body. Constant fatigue, lack of motivation, increased sickness. Like today, your head is aching. Next minute, your body is hot. You know, you just keep discovering illnesses and sicknesses in your body. Your body is telling you something. And then detachment is another sign to show you that you are getting close, you are getting into being burnt out. You are detached. You're not interested in anything happening around you. Even work, you are not interested. And increased irritability. You get easily upset. You snap at people at the least opportunity. People now wonder what's happening to Toyin. Why is she doing this? But they don't know that your body is telling you that you are tired. You are going beyond being tired, and you should watch it. And then how can we control this? Like I said earlier, document everything is a way of addressing these issues. Document, if possible, keep a record of unreasonable workloads. Focus on just the things you can control. Focus on just the things you can control. And if it gets too bad, you seek support. Because
Mm.
even in the organization, there should be people you can talk to. It could be a boss in another department. It could be another senior colleague. It could be an HR partner, maybe your department's HR partner or another HR, because sometimes the HR personnel too are toxic. Toxicity is not just on your direct bosses, or it can, the HR partner can also be toxic. So you can discuss with another HR professional in the organization. These are ways that
All right.
you can, and that's what I would like to say on that.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much, Ma. Very important point you raised there. When it gets as if it's becoming unbearable, get help. That's the final thing. Get help. And there's some in part of in our community right now. People feel like no, I'll be seen as someone who is not strong, who is not so hard, who is not tough to get to start seeking for help. Get help when it requires that attention. Please do get help. That is the word coming from Madam Toyin. Thank you very much. Let's quickly move on to the next question. In your opinion, what role do workplace culture and leadership play in preventing burnout among employees? So this question is being displayed on the screen. In your opinion, what role do workplace culture and leadership play in preventing burnout among
A
employees?
workplace, a workplace culture, like we are all familiar, we say the ethics and culture of an organization. Does the ethics and culture of the organization you work with, does it support staff well-being, staff welfare? So some organizations have welfare, staff welfare as part of their process and procedure, but it's just there on paper. It's just mere words. It is not implemented. So your question says, what role does workplace culture and leadership play in preventing burnout? If the organization itself, if the leadership is not in support of staff or employee well-being, you already see that there's a disconnect.
Mm,
And there should be clear goals and expectations. Yes, we have job schedules, but are they being obeyed? Are they being followed? Are they being controlled appropriately? And we don't have issues of overwork. Some people come to work and what they do is drink coffee and read newspapers. I've been there. I've been there. I my colleagues, when we come to work in the morning, take newspapers and read for hours, drinking tea, drinking coffee, drinking
mm,
water, case may be, while you are slaving. Even before I get to work, in those days when we were using those, I don't know if you know about those advice, those 5-page vouchers or advice is what they call it. You have to sign, it's not carbonated. So I, as an internal control staff, I have to sign each page of those 5. And that 5, they did just for one transaction. You have to
wow.
sign each one. So before I even get to work, sometimes I get to work very early. The notebooks from different departments will be but start from the floor to get to as high as my desk with all sorts of vouchers in it. And immediately I drop my handbag. Next thing is to pick my pen and start to sign. You don't even have a little time for yourself. So these things still happen even now that we are in the era of everything is online. Some people still delay your work because everything can be done on the system. You have to still be tapping on their desk. Please, please, can you approve that? Can you approve it? So things, the work just keeps flowing into each other, but some people break the flow. They don't allow the process to go. And then it just, because you are not used to those such delays, just gives you issues at work. And then when you work and you are not recognized, you are not appreciated.
Mm.
No promotion, no promotion, nothing to boost your morale. It just gets, so difficult to continue. And then empowering workers, empowering employees by training. Some organizations don't even bother to train. Then here now everybody screams work-life balance, work-life balance. Organizations should also ensure that they have work-life balance initiatives. Show your staff, show your employees that you care. Show your employees that you care. Don't let it just be something you have on paper. Say it and mean it. I like to say, walk your talk. Don't just let it be words. Make it happen. Make it happen. Some organizations switch off their generators at 6 p.m. to want to go home, to get out of their. And some people will bring fan from their homes again. Sometimes when the leadership the leadership is working to ensure things go well for you, you still have some employees who will insist on remaining in the office. They bring fans from home because the organization has switched off the generator.
And the AC is not
And
working.
so the ACs will not be on. They will say their fan will work. Because they were not working in the morning when they come to work. They would rather be gisting and strolling up and down the place instead of facing the work and finishing timely so they could close and go home. And then leaders should also have open communication channels.
Mm.
Let your staff, your employee feel free to talk to you. Don't say you have an open door policy, but your door is shut.
Mm.
Or you don't, it doesn't have to be a physical door. It doesn't have to be a physical door. Sometimes your door is wide open, but nobody can cross to enter.
Nobody can call.
Nobody can cross to enter because your body language pushes them away.
Yeah.
So all this is from top to bottom. We can't just start it from the middle or from the ground. It has to flow from top down.
All right. I actually know you have a lot to say about this topic, but because of our time, we may not be able to allow you speak as in depth as you would have wanted. But then, please, pardon me. Let's just move as fast as possible. Is 36 minutes already in how the time we have scheduled for this conversation tonight, and we have just about 24 minutes left to tackle the rest of the questions. So, pardon me, but let's just quickly move forward with the rest of the questions so that we can also give our audience room to share with us with their opinion or their thoughts if there is any. So, question 5, quickly, are there specific communication techniques or strategies to navigate difficult conversation in a toxic workplace?
Yes, there are. There are
All
specific
right, please
communication
share with us more.
techniques. Yes. I would say before the conversation, prepare. Preparation is key.
Mm,
Define the goal of the conversation so that you just don't, you are not beating about the bush. Be specific.
mm,
Pick the right time and place. Don't let it be the time that the person you want to talk with or to is going to be disturbed, or the place where people will be going up and down. Be sure of what you want to discuss. That's the preparation before is before you have the conversation. Then during the conversation,
mm.
focus on I statement. I statements. Instead of accusatory statements, use the I statement.
Mm-hmm.
Say, I feel frustrated when my contributions aren't acknowledged. Not
Mm.
Mr. McCarthy is not acknowledging my work.
Oh, good. It
Did,
is well.
did you got the
Yeah,
difference?
yeah, I got the different.
And then active listening.
Mm-hmm.
Listen beyond word. The conversation should be a one-on-one conversation so that you you can read the body language of the person you are talking to, and you listen actively. Stay calm. Don't get upset,
Mm.
because getting upset just messes up the whole thing. Focus on your facts. Focus on your facts. That is why it is important to document. Thank you.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you very much. Focus on your part and learn when to be directive with your comment. Not Mr. McCarthy said. I don't like. I like that part because I think a lot of people fall victim of not paying attention or not knowing the right way to present. Coming directly to report someone to himself can be an attacking can turn to an attacking situation. So
Situation.
you learn to present your case, even though the person you are presenting it to is the direct person concerned. So thank you very much, Ma. It's been a wonderful conversation. So we're moving straight to question number 4 because of our time. I mean, question 6 because of our time.
Six.
We have far behind schedule. Question 6 says, "What role does a self excuse me? What role does self care play in preventing burnout, and how can we incorporate it into our daily routines?"
Me, I am an advocate of self-care. If you have been following me on LinkedIn, you will see that I talk about the importance of self-care. I scream, prioritize your mental well-being. But it is all about you, yourself. It's about you. So you have to learn how to care for yourself by looking for ways of reducing stress. You know your triggers, you know what stresses you. So do not expose yourself to those things that trigger stress for you. When you self-care, it rejuvenates you. Self-care can be as simple as practicing deep breathing. It can be
Mm,
taking 5 minutes work, not sitting stiff at your desk for hours. I read I read an article and also watched a video where it was said that sitting is the new killer. It kills faster than smoking. So self-care says, get up. Do not stay seated for long hours. Even if it's for 5 minutes, get up. And your getting up doesn't mean you should go out of the work premises. You can stand up at your desk. Some organizations, they even have the exercise ball as their seat. So they are constantly moving, you know. The seat moves them, which is helpful. But if you know you don't have such chairs, such seats in your office, care for yourself. Get up for like 5 minutes. Stand beside your desk, move your body. Do something like this. Put your hands up a few times. Put it to your side. You know, just exercise. Like you are in those kind of 14 hours flights. You know, if you sit for 14 hours, you want to die. So you get up in the airplane to walk around in the aisle, or you try to lift your legs, lift your feet off the carpet, raise it, do a little exercise, shake your body. Self-care also helps you to be resilient. It moves you on. You know, you have improved physical health. Your health improves. I'm not saying go to the gym, because some people, when they hear self-care, they say, oh, they want me to be going to the gym. Which gym? I have not mentioned gym, but I've mentioned exercise in a very simple way. If you, like me, I disliked walking some time back. I never used to like to walk. My friends always complain, you don't like to walk. I said, please, why do we have car? Why can't I just sit in my car? Why should I walk? But it's not a good thing. And it is not good to also learn the hard way. It is better to listen now than to wait until life happens before you start to take care of yourself.
Wow.
Then set boundaries. Learn to say no. Nobody dies from saying no. If it's getting too much for you, say no. Do not be rude, but in a lovely way, say no. Prioritize sleep. Sleep is very cheap. Sleep is cheap. So try to sleep. For some people, sleep is not cheap, I agree.
Yes. I was going to say that.
But learn to sleep.
Okay. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Interesting. Learn to sleep. And learn to say no too. That's interesting
Let me
for
just
me.
say one more thing. Unplug.
Unplug.
Unplug your devices.
Okay.
Do a social media detox.
Okay. Should go on break. Okay, that's good.
Go on.
So that's the last
Go on,
for me there. Go on break, unplug your devices, stay focused, give yourself some break, have a mental rest, as well as physical exercises.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much. It's been a conversation, and I do believe that anyone watching this live session in the nearest future will be so glad from what we've been able to share through this conversation. And remember, this is Corporate Live Show with McAden. This is Corporate Live Show with McAden. Excuse me. This is Corporate Live Show with McAden. This show takes place every Friday evening, every Friday, and we've been on this platform for 2 years now. 2 years counting, 2 years counting, and we want to ensure Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you, thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you for being one of our like we appreciate you for being here with us. And for the past 2 months now, we've been on a pause mode. Since after I lost my mom, I decided to take a break and like you said, take a break, unplug. I did I have to unplug from everything. And at a certain point in time, I was not so comfortable with anything. I think I was just disconnected from everything, even though I was forcing myself to do so many things at the same time because I want to block that memory, that thought of you just losing someone. So we had a break, and we are back, and with you being our first guest on the shows since that break. So we appreciate you for doing this with us very much. We do not take you for granted. And because of these, we have three more questions or four more questions before we go to the before we conclude the show tonight. But then we would like to take a short break. We would like to take a short break, and then we'll return back to you on the show. Thank you very much. And let's just take a short break before we return back to the studio. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. This is live show with McAden. I am your host. My name is Adeni Makati. You can always refer to McAden. And tonight we've been discussing the topic on how to thrive in the workplace through burnout preventive strategies. And my guest in the studio tonight has been Miss Toyin Tope-Adedipe, sharing with us insights on how to manage burnout and set up some mechanism for our strategy. So she'll be joining me back in the studio as we continue with and Toyin, you're welcome back, and thank you for being here with us in the studio once again. And we want to continue with the conversation, and that will be taking us to question 7 quickly. We have about 10 minutes more to wrap up the conversation. So I would like you to be fast with your response to this question. So question 7, what are some red flags that indicate time to leave a work environment? How can we navigate to that decision because of burnout issues?
Okay, some red flags are constant stress and anxiety. Like I said earlier, you feel perpetually tired. You just don't want to do anything. And then negative impact on your personal life. Impact on your health as well. Headache today, stomach ache tomorrow, toothache in another hour. No work-life balance. Everything is just blended together. When you're at home, you don't even know the difference if you're at work or you're at home. Unethical or abusive behavior. Because we have to be taking it in bits so that we can maximize time. And no recognition or appreciation. No promotion. You are just there. No promotion.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. And then to leave the environment, to leave such work environment, be self-aware. Do a self-assessment. Be sure that what you say is happening, is truly happening. Don't let it be your word against the organization. Let it be real. Because sometimes people just concoct things, and by the time you do investigations, you just realize it doesn't hold water. I've had such experiences because I worked as an internal controller for several years in the banking industry. So sometimes when you are doing these investigations, you just see, why am I going on a white goods case? Why is this person saying this? By the time you ask one or two questions, you know this person just wants to waste your time. Assess the situation objectively. That's the subtotal of what I'm saying. After you have done your self-assessment, assess that situation itself objectively. Then explore options. Can you get work elsewhere?
That's the part that's difficult.
Is it time to consider alternative?
Business.
And in considering alternative, be sure to also check that you are not moving from fry pan to fire. Because I know I've heard of such situations too. I work with the Zero Toxic Work Environment, a community on LinkedIn, and we have seen all sorts of issues as well. Then you start your job search. Just be careful. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you. Just be careful and be sure. Assess yourself. That's the words coming from Madam. Those are not my words, and it's getting to me also because one way or the other, what she's saying is applicable to almost everyone, especially in this country where labor is cheap. And that's not what we're discussing today, but we're talking about your personal decision as against your mental health being disturbed. So we are so keen. And one of the reasons I shared the story earlier about the loss of my mom, I saw a lot of things that happened in the hospital while my mom was at the hospital. And we decided that on the Corporate Life show, every month we'll bring in a health professional to discuss health matters because we lack knowledge, especially with respect to health. We want to know about how to make money. We want to know about how to multiply money. We want to know about how to get money, how to, quick cash, quick, like money,
to
money,
stay
money,
alive,
money.
to spend the money.
But then spending the money on our health is totally out of it. Totally out of it. And spending time on managing health is totally out of it. I remember a doctor was sharing with me, Nigerians don't know how to do CPR. Most Nigerians don't know how to do that. So as common as that may sound, we don't know it. But on this show, we're doing that every month, bringing health topics for conversation, and that's what we're doing today. And thank you very much once again, Mrs. Toyin Tope-Adedipe, for being here on the show. Question number 8, quickly because of our time. Can you share some effective coping strategies for dealing with difficult co-workers or supervisors based on your experience? I know you have vast, if you give you 1 hour, it's not enough to just share one day
It's not
experience.
enough, yeah.
So let's hear from you, ma.
Maintain professionalism. Just like I said, that you have toxic bosses, you have toxic colleagues. Maintain professionalism. Don't drag yourself to their level. And saying assess yourself, be sure that you are not the person that is even toxic. Because you may be projecting your toxicity on others. So be sure that you are not the one that is toxic. But in all, maintain professionalism. Set boundaries. Set boundaries. Establish clear boundaries. Let them know who you are, what you stand for. Choose your battles. Because it's not all battles that we need to fight. Choose your battles. Practice empathy. Because the person you are saying is toxic may be going through it. Maybe all the person needs in the organization. Maybe all the person needs is just a word. Practice empathy. I'm not saying practice empathy at the detriment of your own survival. No, but just be be able to establish that the person is truly toxic, not hearsay. Don't act on hearsay. See it, identify it yourself. Focus on solution. Focus on solution.
Mm.
Seek support. It can be external support, it can be internal support. Internal support, that's your HR, your senior bosses, or even your colleagues. Because in some situations, you can have your team. Maybe you in your department, you run by teams. You can have some members of your team who you can discuss with, and they will guide you on what to do or how to get out of such issues. Ultimately, you may need to involve HR. And if you feel your HR is not saying, seek out a counselor or a coach. Thank you.
All right. If your HR is not doing anything enough to help your situation, go outside. Don't be boxed up in that box office. Oh, sorry, it's an office.
Situation.
But just go out. Your health is your personal concern. Your health is a personal concern. So take charge of your health. And that's one of the things I listen to the doctors say a lot, that your patient is your patient. Forget whatever anybody is saying at the hospital. Whatever they are saying is none of your concern. Do whatever you have to do to make sure that your patient is well taken care of. Thank you very much. So question number 9, as we have just 3 minutes left, please just use 1 minute to answer this question. What resources or support can you recommend to help manage stress or burnout outside the workplace?
Therapy and counseling services.
Mm.
See a wellness coach, or a therapist. Seek support groups. Have a support system. Your support system could be your family, it could be your friends. Just have people you trust enough to talk to them, and the people you can listen to and take advice from. Also, we have mindfulness apps that you can download on your phone. You can practice mindfulness. You can practice mindfulness. And like I said earlier, physical activity and exercise programs. And there are self-help books. I wrote a book, Let's Share Coffee, Mental Wellness for the Information Age. It is loaded
Yeah.
with all sorts of guides on what you can do to take care of yourself at different situations of life. Thank you.
Oh, all right, thank you. Please do grab a copy of that book. I think I forgot to ask for the design copy of that book, so we will have just displayed it on the screen. But you can only share with us so that we can promote, and that's one of the way we can help out our guests on the show. So also get whatever they are doing to the public out there. Thank you very much, Ma, and please take advantage of the information that has been shared on this platform today. It has been a conversation indeed. Thank you very much. I do appreciate those of us that joined us on the show. And because of our time, we just quickly want to take the last but not the least questions. Uh, are there practical ways we can set boundaries with colleagues or supervisor in a toxic work environment? This is a practical question. We have we're out of time already. We are just exactly out of time, but just give you 2 minutes to quickly wrap up on this.
Okay. Clarify expectations. Be specific on what you need. Be specific in terms of respect, privacy, and collaboration. The word is being specific. Clarify expectations. Communicate assertively. Say what you want. Say your boundaries. Be firm and consistent. Don't choose favorites amongst your team or amongst your co-workers. Be consistent. Then set limits on availability. When I am at home, I am at home. I don't want my work at home. Let that be known from the beginning. Limit personal sharing. Some people just love to talk. Work environment is not for your personal stories. Limit such interactions. And document boundary violations. Just do what works for you to gain your sanity.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you. Thank you. It's do what works for you to get your sanity, set your boundaries. Uh no work at home. I don't know how practical that one can be. But not until recent that I decided on my own. Okay, I think that was after when I got to the hospital. I was also so busy. I could not check mails and the like, so my mail disconnected on my phone. And since after then, I've not reconnected my office mail back to my phone. It's as if I have this burden lifted from my shoulder
I
off
tell
my
you.
body. Like
Yeah,
even
very true.
weekend, my phone should not beep. I'll be worried that who is communicating, who is saying what, because my office mail is constantly dropping something, some information, even
Pimping.
though they are related or not related to me. So it's always dropping something. And I know we are done with the questions, but then let me quickly take if we have any question from the audience. Okay, we don't have any from the us audience. I can see Falcom is joining us. Thank you very much on YouTube. Falcom is joining us on YouTube. Thank you very much for coming to say no. She said, I think she was just following through our conversation. But then I have this comment. There was a story about a Nigerian that visited the UK. So when he arrived at the UK, it's so funny just about what you said about Nigerians that work in a specific industry. Maybe at the end of the story, you'll be able to guess right which of the industry. So the Nigerian guy went to the hospital where animals were being treated, and he said he needs treatment. And the doctor was like, "Where is your pet?" He said, "No, I didn't come with any pet. I need treatment. I need to be treated." He was like, he doesn't believe that a regular doctor will treat him. And at the end of it, they were like going into argument. Like, why will you need to be treated by a doctor
My
who,
veterinary.
yeah, by a veterinarian? And you, and he was persistent. He was like, no, I need you to treat me because you are the only one that will understand my nature. After the long story, the white are patient and the lie, so they get into conversation to assess his mental health, to understand why he thinks a doctor in that sex should be the one to treat him. And they asked him for his country of residence. He said Nigeria. Where is he staying? In Lagos. And what does he do? Is he into finance, financial management? Where does he work? Eventually, he said, I work in a bank. And the doctor said, yes, you need to be treated here. Because over there in the banking industry, you work like animals. 9 to 5 is not 9 to 5. 9 to 5, you know your resumption time, but you can't tell when is your closure time. So our banking industry, in fact, it's becoming something common in other industry too. So they work 9 to 5, so to say, but then it's not 9 to 5. It's 9 to when you are done with your work, not 9 to 5. So thank you very much, Ma. It's been a conversation with our guest today, Mrs. Toyin Tope-Adedipe. Thank you very much for being here on the show with us. With so much love that you joined us today for the conversation. We are so happy to have you. And before we go, just a little bit about Mrs. Toyin before she goes. A little bit about her is the fact that you need to know her a little bit more. She's a mental wellness coach with a unique understanding of business professionals' challenges, having worked in the banking industry for 28 years. She knows what it is like to deal with long hours and high pressure deadlines and demanding clients. She specializes in helping professionals, founders, entrepreneurs overcome mental health challenges to achieve their personal and professional goals. She works as the mental health counselor for the zero toxic work community. She also serves as the in-house mental consultant with a big brand where she organizes specialized training session for students and staff. So that's a little bit about Mrs. Toyin Tope-Adedipe, and we appreciate you for being here on the show with us tonight. We are so glad to have you. So we want to say a big thank you to all our audience that joined us on in the conversation tonight. It's been Corporate Live Show with McAden, and I am your host. And with me today for the discussion on how to manage, how to, for the discussion on how to, excuse me, for the discussion on how to thrive in the workplace through burnout preventive strategy is Mrs. Toyin Adedipe. So, any final word from your hand, Mrs. Toyin?
Just know that self-care is very important. Once you start to feel stressed, take a break. Take a break. Know yourself. Know your limits. And as I said earlier, know what triggers stress. It cannot be avoided, but you can control your exposure to it. And being burnt out is not a place you want to be. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. You may not be able to avoid burnout, stress, and the likes, but you can manage your exposure. Thank you very much. That's the final word for me there. So from here, we want to say good night to everyone that joined us on the show tonight. It is Corporate Live Show, and we are back. Guess what? Next show, we'll be giving opportunities to our audience to be able to call in on the show. So please do stay tuned next week, same time, same place. Till we see again, I say bye bye. All right, man. Bye bye.